Hello and welcome to College Got Me Like, a New Heights Magazine original podcast with Jacob,
Geneve, and Jules.
For the next 30 minutes, we'll be talking about something about the college experience that's currently on our minds. You can contact us with any suggestions, comments, or questions and stream new episodes every Monday at newheightsmagazine.com/college. We'd love to hear from you. On today's episode, we'll be talking about just transitioning into college and what that means, what we go through when we do that, the logistics, what that's like, and the feelings that we sort of feel when that happens, I guess. In our studio today, we're gonna have my good friend, Hillary Rogers. She's probably one of the most iconic people I know, but you're gonna see that for yourselves here shortly. She's a sophomore at Boston University, just like us, and she's gonna have a lot of cool things to say. I'm so incredibly excited. Let's get started. All right. This is it, our first episode. I've been looking forward to this for a long time. How about you guys?
I mean, I love talking about college. It's such a great topic, and I feel like a lot of people don't really just like a book that's like the ultimate college how-to. So I always love kind of sharing my experience and kind of seeing how those experiences can help new students.
Exactly. I'm kind of hoping that this is sort of a project that people can listen to and just really get totally unfiltered information. There's going to be no lies. We're not stretching the truth whatsoever. Do you kind of feel like that's kind of the direction we're going, Jules?
Yeah, I want to expose BU and
about
my college experience because, I mean, why not?
I just remember when I was applying and when I was sort of going in, I was looking at so many videos on YouTube and like, what do I need to pack? Like, do I need like a coat or like what's Boston like? I mean, I'm from San Francisco, so like Boston is foreign to me. I mean, of course, we've been there a year now. We're all sophomores around here, so we feel a little bit comfortable coming back. Just started last week. How did our first weeks go? Pretty good. We feeling all right?
Yeah, being a sophomore is really weird, and I personally was a student advisor for the summer, so I am seeing a lot of familiar faces, a lot of students that I led around campus, so it's been kind of cool because even though it's not my first year, it kind of feels like it because I get to see all these new students after their first week of class and ask how that went. I see them making appointments with advisors, which is so exciting to me because they're like real college students now and they're growing up.
Is that energy just contagious? Like you just feel like, yes. All again. Does it feel weird to be like back, Jules? Or is it nostalgic?
Not really.
Or
I feel like it's just like a continuation of freshman year. It's pretty nice just coming back. Like I already had a lot of like my things packed from last year, so I feel like pretty prepared. I don't feel like I'm as like scared or as nervous as I did like last year. I feel like I have my stuff together. Or like I feel pretty put together this year.
Good.
And I just feel pretty ready to like keep on moving forward.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Let's do it. And speaking of moving forward, we're going to get to our guest Hillary, but first I want to say we did this podcast because we did a video series on YouTube between the three of us that I felt like did pretty well, at least in my book, and I felt like people really engaged with that a lot. And so with the sort of rise of podcasts, we thought we'd give this a try. So definitely head to newheightsmagazine.com/college. Give us some feedback. We want to get better at this since this is our first episode. Enough about us, though. We're going to talk with my insanely good friend, one of the most iconic people I know. Her name's Hillary Rogers. She has just so much wisdom for being our age. I feel like I look up to her and she's my role model in so many ways. She's the most optimistic, positive person I know. She's so flexible and makes the very best of every single situation. And I shared a lot of my first year of college with her. And so I just feel so comfortable around you, and that's why I wanted to make sure you were here on this first episode. So Hillary, I mean, little like round of applause. I don't want to overwhelm the microphone here, but introduce yourself. Like, give us like a 30-second synopsis. Who's Hillary Rogers?
Hey guys, my name is Hillary Rogers. I was born and raised in DC, then went to boarding school for 5 years while I was 10 years old to 15 years old. That really shaped who I was, and I guess that really made me have to rely on my own independence and form personality for myself. I guess that's why people say I have some wisdom. I tried hard. It's hard being 10 years old and just living on your own and trying to do things for yourself. But I think I'm trying to just, spread love around the world and be there for people. So thank you so much, Jacob.
I feel like that is your motto, and I see you live and breathe that every single day. So I really want to talk about with you, since you've moved around so much and you lived around so many different kinds of people, how do you think that influenced the transition to college? That's kind of the topic of today's episode. Just thinking, what goes through our minds when you step on campus for the first time with all your packed bags and you're overwhelmed and you have all the things from home, but you're not at home? What was going through your mind? And think back like a year ago. What was that like for you?
Yeah, that was definitely different for me. It was different being in boarding school and being in college, especially since I was actually moving from high school after I left my high school. My parents moved out all the way across the country to Los Angeles instead of Rhode Island where we had been. So that was a huge break in my life, honestly, where I went from an environment where I was with a family and a lot of people that I knew and doing daily, like driving to high school, things like that. Then my family moved all the way across the country, which, I mean, it had happened like that before. That's why I was in boarding school, but it took like a shock to get used to. Living in dorms and stuff, I was used to, so I was like, okay, this is fine. I really tried to focus more on the social aspect, getting out, getting to meet new people. I also wanted to like focus on my academic life, but it's a huge balance because I don't want to be stuck in my room all the time and I don't want to be out all the time where I'm like shaking on my grades and things like that.
Absolutely. I think it's such a balance, and I remember like when I first met Geneve, like she had it all figured out.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like amazed. I was like, she has the most like rigorous like academic schedule and she's so passionate about what she does, but she was like involved in everything. And I wanted to know like, how did you do that?
Yeah, it was actually like moving to college was such a weird thing for me because I lived in the exact same house and in the exact same room my whole life before because I was an only child and we didn't move around. Like my parents' jobs didn't require that. And so moving to Boston was like a completely fresh start for me. I knew I really wanted to get involved early on because BU was such a big school and it was intimidating even for someone who is extremely extroverted. I still had no idea how to tackle this big community of students. And so this past weekend was Splash, which was an event that I also attended last year. Splash is BU's big club fair. Sure, you heard of it. And when you attend, there's a lot of free stuff and there's a lot of people with tables and sign-up sheets and you sign up for a bunch of clubs. And I signed up for a few. I did research before to know what clubs I wanted to sign up for. And then I went to the meetings and then I kind of stayed around with the ones that really stuck with me. I think getting involved is a really big step with kind of transitioning to college just because it helps you narrow down to find mentors who aren't necessarily, staff members or graduate teaching fellows, but just, students like you, students who were in those same footsteps a year or 2 years ago who can give you insight and give you advice on how to land those internships and succeed in the classes because, again, they were there a few years ago.
Wow. You are such, I mean, you can tell she was working with brand new students all summer because you totally have that down. I mean, I am just like, I'm not even going into my first year right now and I'm like, wow, I feel so good about tackling this year right now. Do you find that when you kind of feel that nervous energy from incoming freshmen and to any incoming freshmen who might be listening to this right now, what is like the best way just to channel that nervous energy? Because it's so hard because you're so excited, but most of the time those nerves and the butterflies in your stomach can take over.
In some of the interactions I've seen with the new students with each other, I think it's important to just kind of address that everyone is just as scared as you are. Like, there's not really a point in walking into a room and like being like, I'm the coolest guy in here, I know exactly what I'm doing and like I have my life figured out. I think you bond with people a lot more when you can agree on the common ground factor that this is a scary experience, but at least it's a shared scary experience, and that, the other people that are with you aren't people who are trying to knock you down, but secretly cheering you on all the way. And I think when you see the community as that, you feel a lot better about yourself and about kind of where you stand and what your role is.
Absolutely. And I want to transition to Jules because I want to know so the first few weeks of college, I think we all can agree, people just want to be out there. They want to make friends. How do you really find your people? Because there's so many different kinds of people from all over. What went through your mind, or what was that experience like? Did you have any like tough times with certain people, or what did you have to figure out? What did you look for in people to find their authenticity, I guess?
It's funny that you asked that, because even now, like, I still feel like I'm still trying to find my people. Especially, I saw people at the beginning of freshman year trying to cling on to each other, like trying to find their best friends. And I will admit, I did that too last year. But as like time went on, I saw like friend groups form, and I kind of just found myself like drifting from like group to group. So I kind of just, for me personally, I kind of find myself to be like independent. So by that I kind of mean I just kind of do different activities, and like I have like my own groups in each activity. But like for example, like I do her campus with Geneve. I really enjoyed doing that last year. Like the girls have been great. It's been super like really just really fun overall. I do like BUTV 10. Because like I'm a film major, I wanted to get some experience with that, and I've gotten to know some of the upperclassmen who have been like teaching me about like camera work and whatnot, so that's also nice. And I also did like the BU Pink like Victoria's Secret team as the photographer, so I kind of just keeping myself busy by doing different activities, and by doing that, that's how I've been kind of expanding my social network. And even though like I don't have like a set like really friend group, I guess, like my go-to friends, besides like my roommates, but at least for me, my first step at the beginning of freshman year was kind of just reaching out to different groups that I had interest in. And not only are these like activities that I have interest in, it's also because like I know by joining these organizations I will have experience for like my future, like, well, I could definitely put the stuff like on my resume.
Yeah, absolutely. You know? It's more than just a major. So we're gonna take a really quick break. We're already at like 10 minutes, and I literally could listen to you guys talk forever. But we're gonna take a really, really, really fast break, and then once we come back, we're gonna talk about just sort of expanding from that zone and the logistics of moving in. Keep tuning in. Shout out to New Heights Magazine for creating our show today. The magazine is a brand new publication dedicated towards empowering the youth and leaders of tomorrow today. With their first publication coming this fall, you need to head to newheightsmagazine.com to subscribe to the email list. No excessive messages or offers or promotions, just all their best physical and digital content created by hand-selected, innovative, and inspiring creators. Again, head to newheightsmagazine.com to join the movement now. We'll see you there.
So, hey guys, I hope you enjoyed your little break, got a little snack, did whatever, but we're back here. And we're going to really just be talking about what it was like to move in, day one, step foot on campus, and it was really nice for me, I believe. I actually was involved in a program called FISOP, so that got me into VU a week early move-in, and we also got to get around Boston and do some community outreach. I was really lucky to also have my roommate doing FISOP with me, so I got to know her for a little bit more during this week. I also got to know Boston. I didn't know how to take the train, so FISOP really helped me out with that.
Totally. What went through our minds, like on the first day? I can totally remember it. I just remember like my mom was super sad, but I was just so excited, and I felt bad that I was excited and not sad. Did you guys have like right?
One of the really key things about moving in and like getting to campus is doing your research. Like I'm talking Google Maps, like Google Images, like where you can exactly park your car, and like a really important thing too is where you can check in your keys, because a really big problem that people will have is they don't know where that, or checking for their keys. They have all their suitcases and they're at the wrong place, and that is so bad. And then it's hot and sweaty most of the time. It's Boston, you know, with its humidity and its freak hot days.
I mean, really, like anywhere, like especially probably in urban environments, moving day is going to be the most crazy, overwhelming day. And that's not to stress anybody out, but really just to calm the nerves a little bit. Like that is going to be the most stressful day.
Especially moving into Warren Towers, that is like a total nightmare.
Yeah, the huge dorms and the iconic yellow carts, and just means move-in day. So I want to kind of go around. I want each of us just to give like a couple sentences and say what should somebody think about? Like what the first thought on their mind. What should they do the first thing they step foot on campus?
I would say calm down. Just
great advice.
Take a breath. Don't think of it as, oh my God, this is my new life now. Like, you're still going to be you. This is just another moment in your life, okay? So just take a minute to chill, breathe it all in, then walk through the doors. You don't have to be overly confident. You don't have to be scared. Just try to get to your room and just meet new people, see what there is to see. Just be calm and just explore.
Perfect. All right.
Kind of going off of that, I mean, like you said, be calm. But for me, I guess I kind of had to take things a bit more like slow because especially like move-in day last year, I felt overly anxious and overwhelmed. So especially like moving up to my room, like I had to pick up like my keys and everything. I had to like keep in mind where I was keeping my keys as I walked up because I didn't want to like lose it.
Right off the bat,
exactly,
like first 3 minutes.
Like I had like my yellow cart with me. I didn't want to lose it. So I had to take things slow and actually like think, where should I put my keys as I walk up? Because while I'm like moving upstairs, like I'm talking to people in the elevators, I'm meeting new people on my floor. Like I kind of need to like take things slow, especially on the first day, and think, where am I putting this? Who am I meeting? I gotta like think about all these things before I actually like
absolutely
settle in.
I think our advice is probably going to be really similar. I just say one thing at a time. Don't think about far ahead. You have the entire school year. You don't have to do everything in that one day.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, one thing at a time. Unpack that one box. Put one thing on the shelf. Solely focus on saying goodbye to your parents. Talk to one friend. Don't feel like you have to talk to everybody in the room. Sit down with them, have a genuine conversation, learn about them, then focus on dinner. And then you have so much more time than you think. Just make the most of every single interaction, every single moment. Don't think about anything else. That'd be my advice. How about you?
I would say mine is be open-minded. So definitely being open-minded to meeting new people, which is like so cliche. I think one of the things that is like an important supply, not really supply, like a piece of something to have in your room is a doorstop. I actually didn't have one last year. No, I'm serious.
I love that this is like
serious. Like I didn't have one last year and my floor overall was not very social.
I know, same.
Yeah. But this year, like in my suite, we have a doorstop, and generally whenever one person's home, we just leave that suite door open, and we've already bonded so much more with the people that I live around than I did last year. And I think that that's really critical in your first week because, again, like I'm all about shared experiences. Like everyone's scared, y'all are sharing an experience together, you're gonna feel way better
especially
about it that
for
way.
Freshmen, keeping the door open. I know like last year, I lived right by the elevator, so me and my roommate always kept like the door open, especially like at the beginning of the year, so people always like going by the elevator.
They would just
they'd peep in and be like, hello, nice to meet you, I'm so-and-so.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, yo, what up, I'm Jules, nice to meet you.
Yeah, no matter what, you're not being too loud. Everybody just wants to know everybody. So, all right, that's all the time we have. Actually, you guys are just all so smart. I learned just so much about things that I should be taking with me just as I go through sophomore year here. Thank you a mega ton to my good friend Hillary. She is just so wise. I'm gonna have her back because I just want to hear more about her crazy cool life, and I want to prove to you guys and show you how crazy cool I think she is. All right, I guess with that's the end of our first episode. I think, give me snaps if I'm summarizing this well. During your transition to move-in, stay calm, focus on the whole year. Be social, but also take care of yourself. Cool?
You got it.
Snaps? All right. Cool. Thank you, guys. You're the best. I love you all. You rock. Bye. Wow, we're going to have to work on that. An outro needs work. Huge thank you to my good friend, Hillary Rogers. You guys definitely need to go check her out on Instagram. It's at HillyBaby101, HILLYBABY101. Just like Zoe 101, but cooler. Go check out Hillary. She is iconic in every single way that you can possibly imagine. Do it right now.
All right, hey guys, thanks for listening in on our first podcast about transitioning into college. Hope you guys enjoyed. You could follow me on Twitter and Instagram. My Insta is at jul.barry, B-A-R-R-Y, and my Twitter is at JULBARRY, so that's Jewel Barry with 2 Y's. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Feel free to follow me on social media. I definitely follow back, and I'm pretty much very active. So hit me up there. And yeah, again, thanks for tuning in, and talk to you guys next time.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the first episode of College Got Me Like. This is Jacob. I can't thank you all enough. And a huge thank you to Hillary, too. I'm definitely going to have to bring her back so you guys can hear more from her. If you want to check out more from me, it's at Jacob Wittenberg on Instagram and at the Jake Brewer on Twitter. I have a lot of cool stuff coming up, and I definitely want you guys to check it out. It's so exciting. I'm having an absolute blast with everything I'm doing. Definitely go see it. It's all on social media right now. And of course, newheightsmagazine.com. If you haven't visited it, you're probably the only person that hasn't. That's a lie, but you definitely need to get on it because there's so much cool stuff, you guys. I can't even begin to express. Go check it out, newheightsmagazine.com right now.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for listening to our first episode of our podcast. If you want to keep up with me on social media, be sure to follow me on Instagram. It's just my name, GENEVELAU. And also on Twitter, I sometimes tweet funny things, also the same username. And Jacob and I run a coffee shop review Instagram that if you're interested in coffee shops in the local Boston area, you should also follow it. It's at bean_happens, and it's also in the bio of my personal Instagram account. I can't wait to see you guys in our next episode.